Hello and welcome everyone to yet another video in my playthrough series of Armies and Alliances Arnhem 44. So this video I'm going to show you a supply example, or actually a couple of supply examples in a solo playthrough I've been doing of the game. I've reached turn 5 by now, and this is basically after the Allied movement phase. I may have made a few mistakes because that is on the previous turn, because I may have moved a few units slightly beyond their capabilities, because at that time of movement they were already out of supply. I slightly misinterpreted the supply rules, but hopefully I'm going to set that straight in this video. So let's first have a quick look at those supply rules. And the thing that's really important here as well is that it's determined at the beginning of the movement phase or at the instant of combat. So I've just discovered, and that might be a pretty essential thing, I've marked the combats here. As you can see, these German units are creating a ZOC along the road from Eindhoven to Nijmegen, thereby basically blocking the supply of all Allied units. Well, that's not entirely true. All 30th Corps units, so the British ones, excluding obviously the ones close to Arnhem, which are the paratroopers. Paratroopers airborne units have different supply rules than 30th Corps. I'll once again explain that briefly in a while. But anyway, because of this German ZOC here, basically all the units to the north of it are cut off. Then again, I realized that and obviously as the attacker you have the option to decide which units you're going to attack first. And as supply is determined at the beginning, at the instant of combat, if the Allies could somehow manage to eliminate this German ZOC by destroying them all, then any combat taking place to the north, which I've now marked with red arrows as not taking place, either because it's not advantageous to the Allies to engage in combat or because it's not possible at this moment, should, however, this German ZOC be removed, all those units up north, depending on the order of combat, but obviously this would be the one you would want to resolve first. The ZOC could be removed, and magically, well, not entirely magically, but by eliminating the ZOC, supply would be restored. So supply is traced in such a way that you, for 30th Corps that is, that you have to be able to trace back to these two, either one of these two hexes, which constitutes the supply point or supply source for 30th Corps. And how the rules work is that you either start on a trail or road. Well, basically, you trace back obviously from the unit. So these units, as they're not in a German ZOC, trace back via the road to these points, and there is no problem there whatsoever. However, these units are out of supply. Obviously, they can't trace via the road because they'd be tracing right through the German units, which obviously isn't possible. But it's also possible to start on the road, then use the trail, and for instance, go this way. Well, not here because you'd end up in the same place. Go here and then this way. The problem is that once you reach a trail, you can again trace on a road. So therefore, supply to these units is blocked. You might think that it's actually possible to trace through this unit back to this one, but that doesn't work because because you basically trace from a trail to a road again. What else? So again, we'll have to wait and see how this combat ends, because that might change the whole situation, but I don't actually expect that the Germans will be removed from this position completely, because I've already set up the combat. The Allies, and that would be the yellow arrow and the two yellow pawns. Obviously, I would like to commit more artillery to this attack, but you can never commit more than two artillery pieces to a single attack, which is why these two are going to be in support of this one. So it would be the yellow ones. So that makes for a total strength of 7 plus a die roll, which still has to be made. And for the defender, a total defense of 2 for the infantry, 3 for the tank, defending in clear terrain, and 1 for the card that the Germans have also committed, because giving them an extra combat point in defense in this case, because obviously they want to hold on to this position because it helps them block the entire road to the north. Let's have a few look at a few other supply situations. This unit is also out of supply. Why is it out of supply? Well, it has to trace back. It starts on the road here, which is fine, but then it would have to continue on a road, and this is not the supply source. It's either one of these two. So it starts on a road, which you can see here in the town, crosses a bridge, and then enters a trail, which is fine, but that means that it cannot again trace via a road. And to get to these two hexes, well, here in Eindhoven, no matter what you do, you end up in on a road hex again. So that's why this unit is out of supply. This is an airborne unit. Airborne units trace supply back to their respective drop zones. Now, this is the drop zone of the 101st, and this is also a unit belonging to the 101st. So it has to be able to trace back to its own drop zone, and the distance cannot be more than 7 hexes, which is not really a problem here, as you can see. I haven't counted them, but it's certainly less than 7. No problem. It's not crossing any canals or rivers or whatever that are not bridged, or where a bridge is blown. So this is all okay. This one is out of supply because I did calculate the number of hexes there. I think it was 8. And obviously it will have to trace through these units. Well, it actually could, because these units are friendly, and supply can be traced that way. So it can go here and then there, but this is 8 hexes away. So that's why that doesn't work. Yeah, so I hope that explains the supply rules a little bit. And knowing that a unit that is out of supply cannot attack, which is of course essential in the upcoming combat phase for the Allies, it gets -1 on defense, which might matter in a potential German counterattack, and and movement is halved, which is, well, you can still get pretty far on the road because it only costs half a movement point to move on a road, so you can still get pretty far. And coming back to what I said at the beginning, the problem might be that I moved some of these units slightly too far, but I think is actually only the infantry unit that I may have moved a bit too far. I don't quite remember where exactly it got from, and an infantry's unit is obviously lower, movement value is obviously lower than for mechanized infantry or tanks or whatever, so maybe that one got a bit too far. The other one should actually be fine. I'll tell you some other things that you can see going on here. This is the engineer unit, and it would like to facilitate a crossing or a platoon bridge, or allow airborne units. Strangely enough, I believe it's only airborne units that can cross that way. They would still have to be in the hex first. They couldn't get any further than this, and then cross the river. But in order to be able to provide something like that, the engineer unit itself has to be in supply, which it isn't. So it's also preventing that crossing. The Poles have also landed, and they played this card, that is the Allies, and normally speaking they would be out of supply. They're part of the British force basically, so they have to draw supply from this drop zone, and it's either too far away like this one. Well, they landed somewhere over here, by the way. So even at the time of movement, it was probably too far because they can't trace across the river. And the problem is also that obviously here everything is German controlled, so they can't trace through it. What I would have to look up is if they can actually trace through by means of a ferry. I don't know that off the top of my head. But anyway, they probably would be out of supply normally, but because of this card, it meant that they are actually in supply for the whole turn. It says this turn, so I assume it means game turn. Um, yeah, it makes sense because at the instance of combat, well, if they're attacked by the Germans, maybe then they're actually out of supply this turn. I don't know if it means game turn or player turn. Since it's not specified, I suppose it means game turn. This unit is defending broken terrain, probably being able to hold up the Germans there, which will probably try to move, who will probably try to move south. And these two Polish units are going to attack the Nijmegen town hex guarding the bridge with the help of the airborne troops here. Obviously, the British units would like to join in as well, but as I've explained in the beginning, if the road is not unblocked, which it probably won't be, then they won't be able to attack. There's going to be an attack here too of two infantry attacking one German infantry. It's a bit of a gamble, but it's going to be well, not supported by the artillery units because they will be supporting the attack against the much more important town hex guarding the bridge. In Arnhem, what's going to happen is the British infantry here, with the support of the two artillery, are going to attack the city hex here, and the city hex itself will be supported, that is defended, with the help of the 88 as well. These two 88s are going to support the defense of the Nijmegen town hex. So I've tried to mark everything as much as possible with arrows and cones, pawns in a matching color. And the red arrows mean, as I said, that there's not going to be any attack, either because it's not advantageous or because it's simply not possible at the moment with the supply system that seems to be in place again. If the German Zot were somehow removed, which again, chances of that are very low, I suppose, because you would have to destroy 4 steps of units, and that's simply not going to happen with this attack. But I hope this video clears up a bit how the supply rules and everything work. And the next video will be the summary of the 5th turn. Thank you again for watching, and see you on the next one.